Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good morning. I'm Nani Roslan. You're joining us for another episode of Relatable, Sinar Daily's talk show that engages on women empowerment and relatable issues concerning women in Malaysia and around the globe. I don't know about you, but March is my favorite month because it's my birthday month. And not that anyone asked, but it's also tomorrow, International Women's Day, every 8th of March. So International Women's Day is celebrated as a public holiday in some parts of the world, but it is more than simply a time for stores, brands, salons to offer promotions for women, although I know most of you would enjoy discounts. But it's also a platform for women to amplify issues surrounding gender inequality, because not only it's a fundamental human right, gender equality offers a solution of many of world's most pressing problems, like gender-based violence, pay inequality, lack of access to healthcare and education, the underrepresentation of women in politics, leadership roles, etc., etc. So I'd love to quote a UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres. He said that gender equality is a question of power. It is time to stop trying to change women and start changing the system that prevent them from achieving their potential. I love this quote so much. So that's my lengthy introduction of our topic today, women and the power of choice. So speaking of power, of course, with us here today, three very powerful women. Jeng, jeng, jeng. Hello, everyone. So with us today, we have Professor Datuk Nur Aziah Muhammad Awal, Suhakam Vice Chairman. Thank you so much for joining us, Prof. How are you? So Prof has more than 20 over years of experience in the field of human rights laws, especially relating to women and children. And we have also Puan Sri, technologist, Dr. Mahalakshmi Arjunan, which is a trailblazer in biotechnology. And to all Gen Zs out there, meet the real influencer. Dr. Mahalakshmi was listed on world's 100 most influential people in biotechnology, okay?
Thank you, thank you.
Welcome and thank you for being here. And speaking of influencers and KOLs, I'm sure that is CMCF stakeholders, right? So we have Mediha Mahmood, a Content Forum Executive Director. Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Thank you. This is not your first time in Relatable, right?
Yes.
So are you glad to be back?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. All right, so thank you all for joining us today. So let's start with Doctor. We want to talk about progress, right? So Dr. Maha, based on your experience and observation, right, how do you think women in Malaysia generally have progressed thus far in terms of participation, right, towards the development of the country, our socio-economic status, Doctor?
I think we have done so well. I'm sure other women will also agree. We have come so far since independence, especially in terms of socio-economic well-being and also participation in workforce and politics. But having said that, I think it's still not enough. We still have got so much more journey to go. But let's look at the good part. Like our literacy rate is 97.3 and women is 96.3. So 1% difference. But compared to the global average, 85%. So we are doing well. And if you look at university, I think Prof, you are in the university, you go into any lecture hall, except for engineering, most of the lecture hall is filled with our people, right? Our race. So I think that's also good. But now where I see we need to do more is when we look at the top level management in the boardroom, even in the parliament, which I think we are going to talk about it, and in tech sectors. This is where we still have so much more to do. Now, and another thing which really worries me is in the workforce, only 38% of women are in the workforce. So where are the rest? What are they doing? I hope a lot of them are doing something at home. They have their own revenue generating initiatives so that they are not dependent on their fathers or brothers or husband. So I think I'll stop here. So what I'm saying is, good, but more to be done.
True. Yeah, there's so many of us in the educational, in terms of in the universities, but in workforce, alamak, Where are we there representing, right? So let's talk about choices, right? Prof, women are presented, whether personal, family, professional. So in your take, Prof. Nur Azia, what are the opportunities Malaysian women are presented with this recent years that enables them to shape their lives better, Prof?
Well, I think it's a matter of choice, whether she wants to move on in one direction, career-wise, and also family-wise. But as a woman, I think the choice is to have both. I mean, a lot of people say you can't get best of both worlds, but you can. As a woman, I think, and from my own personal experience, you can. You can have a good family life. You can also have a good career, and many successful women has best of both worlds. And it's a matter of balancing the two, and then making the right choices to me in terms of what is your priority at that particular time. But of course, the challenges are great. I think from where I started as a young tutor at a university to become a professor and also run, the administration at the time. I was a deputy vice chancellor of student affairs for 4 years in UKM. And then I retired. And now still after retirement, I'm still with Suhakam and at the moment being appointed as deputy chair. So it is something that the choices that you make and how you channel those choices to suit your own family and background, and therefore making sure that you don't have this so-called that you're in the office, but you're thinking, what happened to my children? you worries and you worry about what people say about you. That is something. I mean, I'm not saying that it's natural for women, but a lot of women worry things ahead of time. So, and that is why we are a very good person to handle children and family, because we always anticipate certain things and we have the A plan, B plans and things like that. So, and this is very important. So the choices are there. And I think Malaysia has given us that opportunity. I mean, to me, you can't say that the government has not done as much as they could to give us, to make that choices. A lot, now, about 75% women are at tertiary education at university. Without that, you go to a lecture and say, oh my goodness, there's
All
only like,
girls,
yes, all girls. But that doesn't mean that we have more girls than boys. That you have to remember. A lot of people have this misconception. They say that, oh, there's a lot of girls, so I mean, these other issues come into it. But I said, no. There's about 107 boys to 100 girls. So girls are still little. It's only at tertiary education that we have that. So the opportunity is there, and even jobs. I must say that Malaysia do not discriminate. If you're a government servant, you come in at the same level, first degree, second degree, your salary will be the same. You have your maternity leave now, it's up to 98 days, and you have all the pathway. But the only thing I think that needs help, and I always remember this cartoon that it was sketched, that there was a goal, and this is for men, this is for women.
Yes.
And
I remember that cartoon. Yes.
So for the guy, you can just
leave it,
and then that's it. You get the ball into the goal. But for ladies, you have the cloth hanger, you have the cooking
ironing
dancer,
board.
yes, and you have your kids running around.
So many hurdles.
So that is a challenge, but she still gets to go.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it is how you actually train yourself and believe in yourself that women can also have equal rights. I mean, we have equal rights, but it is how we achieved it. And I think government now would enhance that in helping women to be able to achieve that 30%. Top management is something that I agree with Puan Sri, because it's something that you really need to come out with a certain support system, nurseries. Even helping hand at home. I mean, now to take domestic helpers is very expensive.
Very, very
so
expensive,
how
right.
would you want to proceed with your career when you have
Right.
and then working from home was very challenging. A lot of people say, oh, it's very good. We can work at home. But the working at home, and you have your son coming saying, can I have some tea now? Can I have this, that, and the other? But when men can work at home quite, happily because they don't have that, those,
Without the interference.
without the interferences. So to me,
Yeah.
something that we have to move forward.
If I may add, whatever Prof said, the system is good. I agree as well. Our government system policies are very good, but I tell you, our society is not good enough, Prof. Because our society, no matter what race, we are still in a patriarchal society. So
Yes.
the 50-50 household chores is not shared. Okay, lah, I'm not too ambitious, not 50-50. At least 60-40, it's still not shared. I think we need to change that patriarchal culture that women has to take care of all these things and women has to be subservient. I think that we need to change. Yeah.
Yes. So, how do you think technology has really, have presented women for choices? Because I can't. I just remember like keto care. We have keto care right now. So, how far does technology actually help women in making better choices and helping women to actually grow?
Okay. Well, I think technology and the digital advancements have been really great for women in many ways. And what you mentioned, for example, childcare is different now. And even for me, I've got older children, and it's really, really hard to get helpers to come these days, and either it's really exorbitant or it's just really tough. But technology helps in the sense that I'm right here in the studio. If my children are at home, I have CCTVs.
Wow.
I've got
okay? Mom's watching you.
they know, of course they know. And we've got a Discord thing where all the
great.
family is all there. And then
Great.
my mom, they have access to my parents and stuff like that. So it gives you peace of mind when you go out there. So digital really helps. And another way technological advancements have helped women to exercise their choices is because, look what the pandemic brought us. Everybody started to learn that working from home is possible, right? We can do these interviews online if we wanted to, right? And we can hold businesses, we can be entrepreneurs because the technology is there. So that has helped women as well. And one of the more important things I think we should look at with social media, in fact, is that it lends women voices and platforms which we did not have before social media came along. Because in the past, there might be some stereotypes or stigma or media outlets not giving the opportunity for women to have a voice. But now we don't need to wait for that. We've got you guys who call us in for these things, which is great. But we also have options to have our own user-generated content, videos, TikToks, YouTube. Our voices are there on Twitter, Facebook, and it connects women from all over the world so we can address intersectionality of feminism as well, so that we know the kind of challenges that we have, which are special and unique to Malaysians, but also the ones that we share with the global citizenship of women. So that kind of helps to create a network of support and advocacy for women across the world.
And I really wish that, we can break the stigma of women have to do all the chores, the work. We have to break that, right? It should be a shared responsibility.
That's right.
Listen, husbands, okay?
You know where it starts? Actually, it starts with the woman as
I was
well.
about to say
You know
that.
what I think? I have 2 girls, but women with sons, please groom your sons from now. That this is, you want to eat, you have to cook as well.
Dads need to
normalize
be
that.
that role model as
you
well.
want a nice clean house. You have to do your part as well. So I think this has to be groomed by women and inculcate that to the sons.
Yes.
I think I'm more, more fortunate. My husband and I share everything, 50-50. So whenever we come back from work, it is like who looks after the kids, who do the cooking, who put the laundry into the washing machine. So we have started that ever since we got married.
Wow.
And I mean, I still don't have to make breakfast. My husband make breakfast.
Wow, you are
that's
lucky.
awesome.
And cooking dinner is like a choice, and we take turn because that makes it more, like soon it will be Ramadan. My husband makes nice meal and all that.
Wow.
So the children will say, "No, mommy, you don't make them. My dad will make them."
I would like to add to that actually, Prof. and Puan Sri, because I think a lot of times it's being on our heads. We're supposed to tell them to do the chores. We're supposed to tell them, you guys need to do it too. I've got 3 sons. And I knew from the very start that I needed to help and get better men out there in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
So they learn best from their dad. Because I can nag them, but I don't want to be the nagging mom.
Yeah.
But if they constantly see their father cooking and cleaning and doing the things that traditional roles expect from women, they learn better that way from role models as well. And it helps also for the dad to say, you can't expect your mom to clean your dishes, you clean it yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better for them to learn from the men so that they know that's what they're supposed to be achieving.
Right.
I just want to bring a different perspective because these 2 women looks like they're luckier than me. My husband believed that it was all my role, but I didn't give up. Until now, I'm still grooming him, and he has changed. It's not, we must agree, it's not easy to change a person even after 26 years of getting married, but he has changed. But I still have not given up. I still lecture him, tutor him, and nag him. So I think women must still do that.
Definitely.
Don't take it upon yourself.
Yes.
You
Share
have to
And
put.
don't give up.
Don't give up.
Give
That's
up.
right. That's right.
I love the word grooming, though. So, do you think that we are still, stuck in the patriarchal society? And
Yes.
how do you think men can do to change this? In conjunction with Women's Day, let's ask the men to do something. How do you think, Doctor? Yeah.
Well, that's
Baby
like what I
steps.
like baby steps. So we have to talk to them.
True.
And I think because like we are all married for I don't know how many decades, right? But the young girls out there, like my daughters are young, very young enough to find their partner, and for them, I will say, look. Don't think this guy is cool and funny. It's not going to take you until you're 75. That's not enough.
That's right.
This
Cool
guy,
doesn't pay bills.
yeah, this guy has to share your ambition, support your
Yes,
aspiration,
yes,
share your
absolutely.
dream. Not only look at his dream, but also your dream. No, come on, love. You also.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I always tell my husband, look, I'm not made of plastics and rubber here. I'm also made of flesh and blood. I have got my emotions. I dream. I aspire. And so the guys that you choose, please make sure you
support
see
that, yeah.
the support coming from the early stage as well.
So cool. 100%.
Sokong. Okay. So coming back to our topic for today. So, Prof, recently the Cabinet has agreed with a proposal to amend the federal constitution to enable children born abroad to Malaysian mothers to gain automatic Malaysian citizenship. So what are your comments on this, Prof? Clearly this is a step forward for women, but why so long?
Okay. I mean, first, of course, we are very, very grateful. I mean, we are very happy that I think Swakam and we have been working
Yeah,
towards
been
that
championing
and
this
been,
for so
been
long.
campaigning for the government to actually amend the constitution. And I think it's timely to do this. But why take so long? I think our constitution, we have been independent since about 64 years or so, and then those provisions was there with its own background. So I think we need to move on. But what I didn't understand for a very long time, when we keep campaigning that women should be given equal rights. We signed CEDAW, we have amended the Constitution, Article 8, but somehow or other, that particular provision was like, oh, sorry, this is not part of citizenship, equality does not come into this, which I think is a bit misinterpretation of the whole of implementation of CEDAW and also the amendment of Article 8 itself. And this is very important because to me, if you look at the proper interpretation, it's just say either parent, mother or father. But then you have a proviso saying that if she is married to a foreigner, child is born abroad, then he cannot get Malaysian citizenship, which I think is pure discrimination. So, I mean, things like marriage, we are talking about in God's hand. We don't know who you're going to marry in the end, who you're going to be foreigner. And you can't say, oh, don't marry foreigner. Until, later on, it will take you home and then you're having children. So I have to remind some friends of mine who actually married abroad and having children. I said, when you want to give birth, you come back. Your children will have
To extend,
citizenship. Because it is a very sad story. When that marriage do not work, they have to come home. But they cannot bring their children. Those who did bring their children back to Malaysia, they are all foreign citizens. They have to pay for their school, for medications and everything else. And then by the time they are 18, they are no longer children. If they are not having children studying visa, they are not working with working visa, they have to go back to the country of origin. So imagine a mother with 3 children, all foreign nationals, and she is a Malaysian national. By the time the children finish tertiary education, 24, if they couldn't find a job in Malaysia, they have to go back. So this is not fair. I think we must, really appreciate, we applaud the government for making this first steps towards giving equal rights to citizenship. Very, very important for not only for women, but for children.
All right. So before we go on for a break, I'd like to open the floor to any of you ladies. So Let's talk about, the other aspects of human rights, right? Do you think the country has shown profound progress, or, are more positive measures are needed to be aggressively implemented to ensure women's right, livelihood, development to be protected?
I think we have made progress, like what we said in the beginning as well. If you go into a public sector, the scheme is the same. You enter at the same level, so that is okay. And then education, there's no discrimination in education as well, whether it's school or universities. Private sector, more on productivity performance. But of course, I wouldn't say everything is just based on that. There is some discrimination as well, especially in male-dominated sectors like engineering and oil and gas and all those fields. So this is where women have to step up, and it's unfair, but this is what even I do in my field. We have to do more to prove ourselves worth. So that part. But like what Prof was saying about the citizenship case, I think there's a lot in the pipeline as well. Child marriage and custody for children when husbands unilaterally convert their children. Now the women suffer so much. They lose completely their child, you see. So I think these are the things that we still need. Like this took so long, the citizenship. Now, again, all these things are going to take so long. So we really need very strong political will to change this in favor of women.
Yep.
But even the conversion issue, it has been settled. We have amended law reform, marriage and divorce. Now, a non-Muslim couple who married under law reform must get their divorce under law reform at the High Court. All issues relating to children must be settled in the High Court. They cannot go to Sharia court, even though they have converted to Islam. So that has been amended. We done it in 2017. And then various other issues. I think that is a very good, important amendment, and it actually safeguards the family well-being. I think these are the things that government has been doing. But I think in terms of what other things that we can do. I think for women, because of that hurdles are so many, before getting to that top position, I think the support system must be there. I still think that I know government is building nurseries, tadikas and all that at place of work, but it's not enough. It's only sometimes the younger woman, and not only younger woman, but the low grade scales of staff that were able to use that. But to me, I mean, as an officer, I still have the same problem. I have babies. I want to breastfeed my child. So why don't we have a bigger place where you can put your children, your babies there, while you can work at peace, and also while we are actually campaigning for breast milk for babies and the relationship between. I used to campaign for 6-month maternity leave and another 6-month half pay maternity leave, so that because it's very important, the bonding between mother and child within the first 1 year is very important. But at the same time, I do not want to disturb her career path. So we wanted, but if we have a place where you can, a nursery where babies are being kept there, mothers can come in and out and can work quite peacefully. I think she can do even better.
I have to stop you there for a while, because we will continue with this topic, especially. We need to know your insights as well. We will be back after the break, so stay put. We'll be right back.
Sinar Daily is at Splash Mania Gamuda Cove, the new water theme park that just opened.
For next gen, basically our vision is for families to come here and they create happy memories together as well as one. Because it's a whole family theme park, one thing. And also, this is one of the largest indoor theme park. It's about 43,000 square feet.
Wow, that's big!
What sort of criticism is that? I think it would only be over the Burberry issue. Well, Burberry issue is not me. It is just his taste, who likes something that is good quality. And I don't think there's anything wrong about that. I mean, I'm sure all of you like something that's branded too. So once in a while, wearing it, I don't see any issue about that.
What the Prime Minister see, because he meets a lot of people, a lot of individual will have knowledge on financial, but maybe right now he thinks that maybe his daughter is the best. So maybe can discuss, always discuss, because maybe at home it's a family. So maybe we got something good. We see first. We see first if something good happen to the country, then we'll accept it.
Is our main one attraction. This is a ninja challenge.
Politician? Why is the word politic and Joey Managi is so synonym? Oh my god.
Welcome back. You are watching Relatable. We are talking about women and the power of choice. If you like this topic, what are you waiting for? Share this live video with your friends and family. So I'm gonna continue our discussion today with Madiha. So despite we have discussed earlier on that how women has progressed and the opportunities allow them to make choices for themselves. But do you think that there's a price for it, right? For example, the government has now introduced an extend maternity leave for women from 60 days to 98 days, correct, Prof? So a survey showed that 41.3% of businesses said they will, hire more male employees due to the increase in maternity leave. So how does this defeat the purpose again? And how we will move to encourage women to choose to pursue their career, the employability gap and also gender discrimination. What do you think about that?
I think the easiest way to do this is to make sure that company policies are as gender-free as possible, right? So if you have maternity leave, then you have to have the equivalent paternity leave. I know some people called for menstrual leave, it's really something that a lot of women do need, but some women don't. So that should be a choice. But the very fact that we call it menstrual leave again gives these employers a reason to discriminate and say, if I hire a woman, maternity leave, menstrual leave, so it affects my bottom line and therefore I look for men, which is not fair. So what I've always advocated for is we really need just to have leave. Allocate a number of days for leave, and we're all adults. You don't have to ask whether that leave is because you're having cramps.
Right.
They should be allowed to take it because they need to take it. Sama lah dengan maternity or paternity leave, just call it parental leave. Every time you have a newborn, the parents have a choice on whether or not they want to use that maternity leave. I've had colleagues and also my team themselves, they have maternity leave, but they still do work. Because right now, working from home is possible and they choose to do that. No one's forcing them. Sama lah with paternity leave. If the father can stay home, there's so much more benefits to that. Because a newborn doesn't just need a mom, the father needs to born as well. And it's really unfair for the family unit if it's all on the mother's head to leave, to take care of the newborn, have that 98 days with the newborn and then forced to go back to work while the father doesn't get to spend that number of days and doesn't get to have that bonding with the child. So I think that is something that we need to fix because I understand employers, they will think bottom line, it's probably better to
especially for
hire.
small companies.
Exactly.
Yeah, they would want to pay 3 months for
Right.
free.
Yep.
Right. So, Dr. Maha, according to the UN, right, by 2050, 75 jobs are related to STEM, right? Science, technology, engineering. Yet today, women just hold only like 22% of positions in artificial intelligence. That's just to name one lah. So, do you think that women in Malaysia face limited of choices in terms of pursuing their career in STEM? I mean, where is actually the problem here? Why would you think, is that a lack of choice that women are far behind in a STEM-related industry career, Doctor?
Okay, I think STEM is, sometimes it's also hyped that there's so much of opportunities, which in some fields Malaysia is still at infancy. For example, in my field, biotechnology, I think we do not have, the industry has not grown in tandem with the number of graduates that we are producing. So what happened is, when we were so big on biotechnology, 2005, and we set national policies in biotechnology, so the parents thought it's going to boom. And everyone wanted to pursue biotechnology, but the industry did not grow. So that is one reason. IT, I think we're doing well in IT.
Yes.
There's a lot of opportunities, and people are also, they have startups. You can do something in your home, and then you launch things. But so that is one. The other one is some STEM fields like engineering, especially oil and gas, architecture, civil, all those construction sites. They're all male dominated until now.
Yes.
So this is where women will find it as a barrier to enter, and also once they enter, also to excel as well. So this can be a challenge for women. But I want to also touch what Madiha was saying just now, that the paternity, maternity leave. What I would suggest, even it will help in STEM as well, because it's male dominated, and of course they want male, right? Because they can just work, no extra leaves. So the maternity leave should be shared between the mother and the father. If you've got 98 days, the first the month, let the mother take care. Of course, the mother has to be there, breastfeeding and everything, right? Yeah. Then let the mother go back, and father takes care. So I think in that case, the employer will see like, oh, the man, if I employ a man, the man is also going to go.
Yes.
The same risk. So this is where we need to share. And in STEM, I think this type of things will really help women in STEM as well. Yeah.
But I mean, I would think about it differently. To me, the maternity leave being provided not to actually to discriminate women, that she will then have difficulties in finding a job. But to me, this is where you respect woman for what she is, and because she delivered a baby, she took the 9 months to be pregnant, and the difficulty of giving birth, I think even men will never be able to experience that. It's something that the society, men in general, must understand. And to me, it is very important to educate the general public, the business person, the people who are in the industry. Because if you don't respect women for what we are producing leaders of the world. Why are we not being given that opportunity to nurture our babies at a very young age? That we must understand that. I think when we started off, our mothers were not working. Yeah. And that's why we are able to be who we are. But nowadays, if you look at the statistics on issues of social problem among youngsters, you get scared off. I mean, I didn't want to venture into that. But to me, it is important that relationship right from the beginning be given that mother and father. I don't mind sharing that, like if it's 98 days, half. But you know how important that bonding to start off with mother and child, and that child itself, the psychological of that baby, as young as he or she is, she knows that she wants to be with the mother. So to me, I will still go for the maternity leave for the mother. And people who actually employ women must be given incentives. That's where government should provide incentive. I have 3 women on maternity leave. What do I do? And government say, okay, you may want to employ someone else, or someone will take and give them an allowances that
Yeah.
for that particular person to do this other person's job while she is on maternity leave. And there are ways in which, and get those men to do that job, see how he can do it, whether he can do it well or not well. So that to me is very important, because women need all the support. After giving birth, she needs to recover, she needs to get her full strength, and on top of that, she needs to acclimatize to be able to leave the baby at another person, caregivers and things like that after that. And that is the process that both of them need to be involved. And 1 week is not enough for paternity leave. To me, that 98 days, give the husband like the first 2 weeks so that he also will be helping around. Then he goes back to work. The wife's place is being taken by someone else who's as capable as he or she is, and then from there on, and she should not be, discriminated because she took the 98 days. She must be given the same opportunity to go to be upgraded, in her job.
Despite the leave.
Because that is very important to me. Because if you take that, you share it with the husband, that's not fair. Because to me, he goes to work, bila dia balik petang, when he comes back, he also looks after the baby, give the wife some time to rest, and at the same time, you need the community or the family support, because at night she needs her sleep, because after giving birth she needs that energy to come back as a normal person.
Right.
Can I just say something? I agree with incentivizing. I was thinking about that as well. But something Prof touched, I want to elaborate. In modern days, we are here because our mother was at home and taking care of us. My mother was a housewife. But I want to touch on the advantages of, in modern days, women working. Because I've got 2 girls. And today my daughter said, Amma, when I saw you dressing up in suit those days, I said, I want to be like that. So that is, they don't have to look around for models, but we are their model. That's one. And not only for girls, the boys will say, my mom was working, so I'm going to allow my wife to work as well. So that's another thing. But let me tell you, when a woman is empowered, it not only empowers herself, it empowers the generations to come. I completely believe in that. When a man is educated, it helps him to grow. But when a woman is educated, empowered, she is financially free, her thoughts are very wide, she can see the whole world. That empowers the generations to come, because she's going to, like, until today, my daughter is in Australia, but she will ask me, Ma, how do I do this? What should I tell him? I'm going for this interview. And imagine if I'm sitting at home, I won't be able to guide her, coach her. So with all this general knowledge, current affairs that I'm exposed to, I'm able to help my children. So I think that's really important. Yeah.
I agree, because mother is a role model. And of course, she will say, okay, because she used to see that mother's working. When she works, she also know how to balance.
Yes.
She learned from the mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Madiha, do you think that the government policies influence women's rights or decision making in terms of getting married, tambah anak? This is my generation a dilemma, right? Tambah anak. So, choosing to work or not, how far do you think these government policies do influence our generation in terms of making choices? Yeah.
I'm curious about what those government policies are, because what do you mean by that? Because I think Puan Sri already highlighted a lot of it is already pretty good. But I think what does influence a lot of us is the societal norms and expectations.
Yeah.
The remnants of the patriarchal society that we still have. And also another thing that I always insist on letting people know is that we women are fighting so many battles. We're fighting, we all have the right to work, excellent, but we don't have equal pay. We all have the right to vote, but we don't have, the right number of people in parliament.
Representing us.
Exactly. So many battles for us to fight. The one thing we should all agree not to do is to fight against each other. And I see there are micro battles happening among women all the time. Stay-at-home mom, career mom, breastfeeding, formula feeding, kahwin tak kahwin, ada anak tak ada anak, and then we're fighting against each other when we should all understand that these are choices that we each individually make based on our own experiences, our own set of circumstances, our own preferences, etc. Respect that. If you want to stay home, I respect that for you. I want to work, you respect that for me. And let's not fight each other. Let's stop these micro battles against each other and fight the right fight that Suhakam is doing, what we're all trying to do. Because that is the battle that needs to be won.
Yes, I love that. Instead of, blaming everyone, why is the government is implementing policies for me and why not? Amazing. So, we're coming to the end of our discussion today. So I'm going to give each of you, going around the table, why is it, based on your observation and your experience, maybe can share a little bit of anecdote or whatnot. So why is it important for women to be able to make their own choices? The choices are to be made for themselves, Prof.
Well, to me, it's very simple. You know yourself better than anyone else. And with your home family background, with the education that you have, the choices is yours. You made up your mind. Nobody should influence you in making that decision. If you need to carry on, let's say you got married. I mean, this is your ideal husband kind of, and then suddenly when you get married, they said, "Okay, can you stop working?" Because you never actually discussed this before, right? A lot of youngsters, they decide these are all the love things, and suddenly when they got married, my husband actually asked me to resign from my work. Why? Because and then he, there are certain things that he said. To me, woman, if you want to get married, girls,
Girls out
put
there.
it on the table. Yeah. Okay, yes, fine. You are now asking my hand in marriage. I will accept. These are my rules and conditions. I mean, I practice it. When my husband wants to marry me, I said, these are my rules. I want to hear what are your rules, your conditions. And if we can agree on those conditions, we will get married. Otherwise,
Bye-bye.
love or not.
That's-
but
Swipe.
So the choice is yours. You made up your mind.
Yes.
Nobody should force you into marriage, into work, things that you don't like to do. Don't do it. Do it for yourself. And that is most important to have a better future.
Dr. Maha?
I think my answer is because I'm made to be equal to a man. Because, like you see, like what Maria was saying, the remnants of patriarchal society is still here. So my mum carried me for 9 months. My husband's mum carried him for 9 months as well. I made the same number of chromosomes as him. The only thing is XY and Y, XX. So why am I inferior to anyone else, especially a man? Having said that, I must say I'm a feminist. I'm not a feminazi. So as a feminist, I believe in equality, and I don't think anyone is superior to each other. I don't want to be superior to my husband. No, I don't. That's not my wish as well. I want to be equal. I want to complement him. Certain things he's better in doing. Certain things I'm better in doing. So we want to complement each other. But like what Prof said, I also think, and also Maria was saying about the system policies, we women have to also take things into our hand. Now today, what we see social media, Maria was saying about how social media thrives and people are doing well. Women are enterprising, but girls are also just doing modeling on social media. Does it benefit anyone? So every time it's hashtag OOTD. What is OOTD? Outfit of the day. Now I say, why don't you say AOTD? Accomplishment of the day. Today I was here. I spoke about this. Today I got my certificate from MBOT. I'm now a graduate technologist from MBOT. So that is a AOTD. So women have to change this. Why are girls showing themselves as a sexual object and then say, "Hey, look, you know what? I'm being this one. I'm being scrutinized." No, that's not the way. So I think even the all those leaves. Yes, if I'm eligible for more leaves than anyone else in the office, a male in the office, I want to show that I'm ethical enough. I've got integrity to say that, no, I don't need this. This is enough. I want to work. Okay, I want to take leave, but then I can work from home. So women have to show that we have the ethics, professionalism, and integrity.
Yes.
So then we don't give anyone space to discriminate us.
Yes. Hashtag AOTD.
Yes.
My caption for today. Okay, Madiha, 2 minutes.
I think everybody's basically summed it up, but I just want to say, and I think everybody disagrees with this, that in order for us to get where we want to go, we've achieved quite a bit already, but in order for us to get where we want to go, it's everybody's efforts. It's individual, it's organizations, it's the government, of course, it's everyone else. But for women themselves, when we exercise our choices, we need to be able to break our own barriers and our own challenges. Because I had somebody advise me this one thing. A lot of times women are offered positions or offered opportunities and they self-doubt and they say, am I good enough or not? When you see a lot of men out there who are not qualified who are taking those jobs
confident.
anyway.
Confidence.
So it's the self-esteem, it's the confidence. You need to break this thought.
syndrome.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
Imposter syndrome.
syndrome.
Yeah, so we need to make sure that kita sedar diri, you know how good you are. That opportunity is offered to you because they know how good you are. Take it.
Right.
because there are plenty other people out there who are men who would take it even if it wasn't offered to them. So yeah, have that confidence and esteem and integrity to just
Yeah.
go for it.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much
If I
for
can
yeah.
add.
Sure, can.
Woman, you must also have your me time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, of course,
Ah.
We must
definitely
always
Self-love.
be doing something for someone else, for the country, for the statistics.
do something
Do
for me.
something for yourself. Yes. Me time.
Absolutely.
Great, amazing. What a way to celebrate International Women's Day tomorrow. I'm sure this is a very fruitful discussion. Thank you so much, ladies. That's all today for today's episode of Relatable. So if you just join us and say, hey, I want to watch this, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Sinar Daily, where we have the full episodes from previous shows and also exclusive interviews on there as well. So do follow us on all of our social media platforms, on our Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at Sinar Daily MY. #AOTD. Tag us to get your latest updates on what is happening in Malaysia. And that's all the time we have. Happy International Women's Day. I'm Nani Roslan, signing off for Relatable. See you next time. Bye, everyone. Assalamualaikum.